Set the table for you there, Governor. A little bit of everything, huh?
Yeah, my God, you got a whole menu there.
We do. All right. That last voice was Julie Casimiro. She's the state rep. She moved to South Carolina, Governor. Doesn't live here anymore. She still wants to keep the seat until the end of her term. Now, yesterday, Speaker Blazajewski said she should probably consider resigning. What does Governor McKee say with regard to State Representative Julie Casimiro? Should she give it up and leave and don't let the State House door hit you in the behind?
Well, on the way out the door, she said some negative things about Rhode Island. So I guess she's where she wants to be right now. But yeah, we shouldn't be paying after somebody leaves and declare that they're out of here. And now I'm into a new state, and her new state is now the place she wants to be.
So are you calling for her to give it up, step aside, resign now?
Well, we shouldn't be paying. The state shouldn't be paying for somebody that's living out of state.
Are you calling for her to resign?
Well, she should have resigned. Yeah,
she should have.
Yeah, she left the state. She's no longer a resident of the state, from my understanding.
Okay, all right. Let's go on to other things. By the way, she says, "Well, nobody can do my constituent work because I'm still here, technically on the papers. So I'm taking phone calls from South Carolina."
I don't think that's going to work.
Okay, Governor, I'm sure you saw my reporting on the Superman building. In fact, you just took the vote as part of the Commerce Corporation to give them another $10 million pledged. These are the developers, the Boston guys who own Superman building. You're going to give them another $10 million. So that's $50 million city and state taxpayer dollars pledged to get that thing rehabbed. They're hoping to get $160 million from Uncle Sam in the form of a loan. And yet Kenny Castellucci, who really is the country's premier stone facade guy, he did the Guggenheim. He did courthouses. He's done the hospital trust. He's done hundreds of buildings. He says the building can't be saved. That the limestone facade is falling away and spalling, which means it's cracking in certain spots, and that's the end of it, Governor. Tear it down. So why are you giving good money after bad?
Well, we're not. So there's no state money going in until there's a certificate of occupancy. That means that the project is complete and inspected, and it would be safe. And we've checked with the developers. This is on them. They've had their masons, they've had their engineers look at the exact same thing that the gentleman that's saying tear it down has said. So they're moving forward. They're going to invest their money. And they're the developers, and until there's a certificate of occupancy, none of the state money's going in. I think it's worth doing. Look, when you start talking about the downtown Providence area, with people living there, supporting the local business community, we're going to be moving the Kennedy Plaza bus hub next to the Amtrak station. That we've got the $25 million federal grant to do that, and then the city's going to have a wonderful opportunity there. On that plaza to create a venue there of some sort that is going to really add to the economy of the downtown Providence, which helps the state of Rhode Island.
But I know, the facade man, the stone guy, has said none of this is going to happen because the limestone is pulling away from the old iron anchors that holds it up. It is unsalvageable. If you got shouty chic money, you could spend maybe $300 or $400 million to put a new limestone skin on it, but nobody's got that. So it's a fool's errand. And he says, wake up, light bulb, you can't do it. Why are you doing it? Why aren't you saying to these guys from Boston, your facade is falling off? By the way, I'm going to ask you, who are really the Boston guys? Is there money behind there that I don't know about or you don't know about? But go ahead, answer. But in other words, Kenny says, you can't do it. Tear it down.
Kenny says that, but the people who own the building, who have their own engineers, say different. They're the ones who are putting their dollars in, Gene, right now. We're not putting any state dollars in until there's a certificate of occupancy, which means that the building would be safe at that point in time. So let it play out. If Kenny's right, then I'm sure that they'll abort the project because they're not going to spend their money on something that they can't get done. They're developers that believe that they can get it done, and we're not, and we're putting funding in the play. But we're not going to use that funding until the project is completed.
Now, we just went through this whole thing with secret investors in RIFC, the whole soccer thing. Do you know everybody who's got money in High Rock? I'd like to know all the eggs in the basket, Governor. Have you?
Yeah, like I've said before,
who's the money behind over there?
We want to make sure that we know who the principals are, the major investors. We know that. And if somebody has $1 in, I'm not sure that you really want to get that granular, but the major players, we work with them. We know who they are, and they've been vetted. Yep. And now we have a project that I think that is for the first time in 10 years, 12 years, has got a great possibility of getting done. The monies that we're appropriating to have run into the project when it's completed is going to free up about $160 million of federal money, low interest money that's going to invest in the downtown Providence area. It's a really good play for us, and it's worth waiting to see what's going to happen.
Governor, isn't it a good play for you to just say yes, give them the money, pledge the money, because I need the union vote. It's going to create a lot of construction jobs, and they're with you.
Well, one thing we are about creating jobs.
I know, but
and
we're saying
things.
election year. Go ahead, say yes. I need the union support.
No, look. We're doing what's in the best interest of the people in the state of Rhode Island. And if you get the Superman building active and vibrant, and then you move the bus hub out of that area, that's going to be a major difference for the economy in that local area, but also the state.
Well, I hate to see all this money go, maybe. And then these guys declare bankruptcy at something or unload the building one way or another. You don't think that's in the offing, do you?
That's not the state's problem then. That'll be the developer's problem because they're putting all their dollars in first. Our dollars don't come in until there's actually a building that's safe and occupied, with a certificate of occupancy.
Okay. Hey, before I'm gonna go to the calls in just a second. Nearby is the headquarters of the Bally's Corporation, the casino corporation. They were in the news. Their stock tanked 30%. On the warning they gave to the SEC that they may not be able to continue as a going concern. This is your friend Soo Kim. I don't know. Have you met him? You met Soo Kim? Could you get him on my radio studio? I'd like to talk to him. Mystery man.
I put out the request. I haven't got an answer back on that, Gene.
What, not calling you back either? What is this?
No, on that issue, we've met with the leadership of Bally's. Right now, we feel very comfortable that the state revenue is protected. That's my job. If they have issues in New York or Chicago, they got to straighten those out. But right now, we're solid here in Rhode Island.
You've met with them in the wake of this news that they cannot continue, possibly as a going concern. Now they may have to go back to the banks or the hedge funds, propping them up already, and just get more money, which is they do that. But are you a little concerned about this? And when you did you speak to them personally? And did you say, well, what's going on, guys?
Yeah, we had a conference call. And we feel as though, based on that call, that the Rhode Island's revenue is protected. And then they're going to have to decide how they deal with their other assets to make sure that they're, the other projects that they're doing, one is in New York, one is in Chicago, that they got to make those determinations. But right now, our business with them is in good shape relative to our revenues that we want to protect.
And if it's not, then what happens? You just go out and find another operator?
Well, we're not even close to even talking about that, Gene.
Was Soo Kim on the call with you?
No.
But you have spoken to him in the past?
I have.
Okay.
He's real.
Oh, I know. Well, it's true. I would like, what that Mitch McConnell? Can you be proof of life? I'd like to see a photograph with you and him in the same room, maybe someday.
You're bringing up my buddy that my opponent gave money to, right? Mitch McConnell, right?
Mitch McConnell. We'll get to her in a second. You'll get your day. By the way, she's been invited to get her day too. She coming in, sit here with me, and you open the phone lines and take the people. Right? Let's do that right now. Go ahead, Tom.
All right, Allie. Good morning.
Allie, go ahead. You're on with the governor.
Good morning, Gene. Good morning, Governor McKee.
Good morning.
How are you?
Very good, thank you.
Good. So I was calling in. I just recently took my children to Scarborough State Beach. Love the beaches naturally in Rhode Island, but I had noticed that the Rhode Island state flag is all torn. So I was just hoping to see if maybe we could get it replaced and maybe take a survey of the state beaches just to make sure that all our flags are looking good for everyone to enjoy.
Thanks for the call. I think you just took care of that flag.
All right. The Cianci would say, look out your window.
You
should see a truck there now.
Right. I think that before the end of the day, that flag will be taken care of.
All right, good.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
Thanks. I like this constituent service, Governor. I like potholes, flags, little things in addition to Superman buildings and Bally's, little things like this, right? Do you enjoy that part of the job? You were the mayor.
Absolutely. And unless somebody calls and tells us something like that, then I don't know. And if I don't know, the action doesn't happen. So, yeah, thanks for the caller for saying that. I think that we have a lot of pride in our state. And that's why I cleaned the whole state house when I was there. Took the independent man down, gold leafed it, put it back up. Yeah, we have a lot of pride in the state, and that caller is just reflecting that she has pride in our state and our state flag.
Okay, go ahead, Tom. Next for the governor.
All right, Dave, go ahead.
438-9776. This is Dave. Dave's one of your regulars.
Hey, good morning, Governor. Gene, can I compliment the governor Helena Folks says she's going to stand up to Trump, but she won't come on and do this show. So I give the governor some credibility here for showing up. Governor, my question is around Medicaid and SNAP. The Democrats continue to say that under the new legislation that people are going to lose their benefits. So the people who are losing their benefits are able-bodied adults between the ages of 19 and 64. They have to have work requirements. Little kids and pregnant women are still going to get their benefits. So I guess my question would be, and Gene, if you can ask this question if Helena shows up, Governor, who do you think should come back on the rolls? Able-bodied people?
Yeah. So look, there's changes in the way that this SNAP and the Medicaid, as you say, has been done. 20 hours of volunteer work, 20 hours of work. Actually work. And we've had to gear up our systems. I think almost $20 million of improvements just to make sure that we're able to enforce the new rules, and we will enforce the new rules. The funding that you're talking about in the SNAP program, when the government shut down last fall, and this is the first time it's ever happened, the Trump administration denied SNAP benefits to families and to older adults that need the food. I stepped in and made sure that didn't happen, and we're still dealing with that issue relative to the health care. We estimate as many as 30,000 people who are entitled to health care, who through our health exchange could fall off that system because of the new rules. I put in dollars into the budget to help about 20,000 of those people who are in the lower incomes stay on their health insurance on a health exchange. So the facts are that the rules in Washington have changed the way that we operate here in Rhode Island, and it's put a great deal of pressure on our health care, and including we're estimated as much as $150 million may be denied to our hospitals through that legislation as well. So it is real. We're dealing with it, and we're making sure that we're following the rules in terms of the 20 hours of volunteer work or 20 hours of actually work to be eligible for the certain individuals that I think are between 55 and 65 or something like that.
Okay, next call for the governor.
Frankie, go ahead.
Frankie, go ahead.
Yeah. Good morning, Governor. How are you?
I'm good. Good. Thanks for the call.
Good. You're welcome. Governor, hopefully you can help me. For over 25 years, I've been trying to get a 4-digit license plate for myself. I talked to people and everything. Nobody seems to help me. I think you're the only one that could probably help me after 25 years.
Well, listen, leave your number. We'll have somebody call you back. I don't know how many of those are left, but I can tell you that they're a hot item. When I came in, they are definitely a hot item. The 2 digits, the 3 digits, the 4 digits.
Why don't you give everybody? You'll seal this thing.
There's only so many combinations of 4 digits that actually can be put out there. But Frankie, leave your name, Frank. We'll have somebody call you. If there's something that can be done, we'll try to figure it out. If not, we'll let you know.
Frankie, what do you want?
What number?
Go ahead. I'll fill the form out.
What
number do you want? What do you want?
What number you got?
Just any phone numbers. Any phone numbers.
You'll take any 4 numbers?
High, low, yep, any 4
High,
numbers.
low, Jack. Ask your guy.
Any 4 numbers.
Your guys are back here. Ask him. Find out if there's one available.
Do you have a 3-digit number?
No, I have a regular plate.
You have a regular plate?
Yeah.
I do too.
Yeah, I don't want to. I don't see the fascination. By the way, I've said this before. Hey, thanks, Frankie.
Thanks, Frank. Leave your number.
Leave your number. We'll see if we hook you up with the 4-digit plate.
Yeah.
And by the way, you got sister-in-laws. You got to vote. Everybody's got it on. If we give you the plate, got to work like the unions do. Get your mother and father out there. Governor, why don't you give this whole governor's plate thing up? Isn't it a silly thing for you to be occupied with?
Well, I don't.
Why has the governor got his hands in who gets a low number license plate? Isn't that like 1950s? Come on.
Well, I have somebody in our office that deals with that because as you said, it's not a high priority in my life, but it is a high priority in many people's lives. So you talked about constituent services. Well, if we have the plates and there's a constituent service level we can provide, then we do it. But yeah, I've handed that off day one.
But why involve the governor? Just let the registry handle it. If you get one, you get one. Now listen, hold on. They go to the governor because it's a thing, and the governor, I'll get you a plate. It's a way to kind of curry favor with a certain constituency. That's the only reason I could see why you're involved. It's not just you. It's every governor's done it. Why don't you give it up and say, go to the registry?
Well, that's good. We could consider that. Look, that's not high priority in my life is the number on the license plate. In fact, I only put the number 1 on, which I'm very proud of, that I am the governor of the state of Rhode Island when we're in the like formal type of things. Other than that, I don't even put that on the car that I drive around.
You told Helena you were Rhode Island. I am Rhode Island.
I am Rhode Island, and I'm proud to look. I'm the governor, Gene. Everywhere I go, I represent the state of Rhode Island. So I believe that the governor should be the biggest cheerleader for our state, which I am, whether it's education or jobs or health or keeping people working. And everywhere I go, I do that. So I am Rhode Island and you're Rhode Island. So and we're proud of it. And then the person who called about the flag, we're proud of the state. And a governor should be wearing Rhode Island on its sleeve, on their sleeve every single day, and I do that.
Well, I'm sure Helena's proud of Rhode Island. Do you think she disrespected you because you had a little surly tone in your voice?
All I can say is the first on the radio here in this room, she told me to calm down, and I let it go. On the second debate, she told me to stop, and I let it go. But when we got to the third debate, and you were at that debate because you did that debate, second debate.
I did the second
and she told
debate.
I think she told me to stop as I'm in mid-sentence, which I think is very disrespectful. And on the third time, I said, I'm not going to allow her to do a third time because it's very disrespectful to a governor to have someone who is like being very condescending, and she kind of showed who she is.
She gets under your skin.
Well, if I told you to shut up at this point in time, you might get a little annoyed at me, Gene.
I might.
Yeah.
I probably would.
So I didn't say shut up. I didn't say for you to be quiet. But I'm going to tell you, look, I'm the governor of the state of Rhode Island, and I'm working every single day on behalf of the people that live in the state, in particular working people, and we're making tremendous progress on our education, top 8 in the country on our high schools, our jobs, 37,000 jobs, our health care, saving hospitals, putting people to work. And I'm very pleased if that Superman building actually got off the ground and put 1,600 people to work, and they could actually go home with a paycheck. And we're doing that all around the state of Rhode Island. So, yeah, I think it is very disrespectful to tell a governor in public to be quiet.
8:25, right back with more Ask the Governor on your phone calls, 438-9776. Okay, quick call. I got half an hour, and I got so much to get to. Go ahead.
A lot of calls. John, go ahead.
John, go ahead. You're on with the governor.
Yeah. Good morning, gentlemen. Governor, I live in Pontiac Village right on the Warwick-Cranston line, and, no one's done anything. We're inundated by these homeless folks, and these are the chronic homeless. No one's done anything to get them out of our neighborhood. It goes from one guy who dances on the islands, the street islands. You got to call the police, afraid he's going to fall in. And then we have 7 to 8 sex offenders that sleep on the state grounds where the prison is at night. All these people are in our neighborhood all day. They camp in our neighborhood. Our neighborhood's gotten dirty. No one's done anything.
Okay.
A darn thing.
It's a persistent problem. I remember this was years ago because they would go to the shelter on the ACI, and then they would leave, and they'd be in Garden City and the libraries. Go ahead, Governor. Quality of life, they don't like it.
Yeah, they don't like it either, and that's why we've increased the amount of shelters by, 50, 70%. To make sure that we have an obligation as state leaders to make sure that people are not exposed to elements that could, that they could die from. So we're doing that, but I understand what you're saying. There's certain rights that people have every day, regardless of what they look like, in terms of being out in the public. They have that right to be there. If they're overstepping that bounds, I think that locally you should be calling the local authorities. Yeah. Because that's where the jurisdiction is. But we're doing everything we can to reduce the amount of homelessness so that people are not creating, like you say, quality of life issues. But at the same point, they have as much right to be on the sidewalk as during the day as anybody else.
Well, they do, Governor, but they don't have a right, to make a neighborhood lousy, right? Look,
you have to define that, Gene. I mean, they have.
I will define it. When you put them in the Nilo when you rented out the Nilo, they were out in the lawns, and the people said they're crapping on my lawns.
Yeah, we
okay,
didn't like
so I
that.
did define it for you there.
We didn't like
you know
that, and that's why we've eliminated the hotel issues, and we provided the shelters and I tracked the shelter every single day to determine whether there was enough shelter beds to house everyone who needed it. And last year that happened. So there's certain rights that people have during the daytime. You're not allowed to trespass, but it's a fine line. We're doing our very best. The call is right. Quality of your life really needs to be handled. If somebody is breaking the law, they should be calling their local authorities.
Well, I'm going to be just late to news, just quickly here. We just had the incident in Providence. A guy videotaped the bus stop. The homeless are in the bus stop such that they took it over, and the lady who's waiting for the bus, she's standing outside. So there is when compassion runs up against a woman's right to take the bus.
Yeah.
We're not going to solve that today. John, you're in Warwick. Call Mayor Picozzi and tell him you were talking about it on the radio. All right, Bill, you take it. Then the governor's coming back with a bunch more phone calls, and I'm going to ask you about this UNH poll that's got you trailing by some distance. Governor, the UNH has got you in the dumps. You're trailing Helena significantly, worse than the last poll. What do you want to say about that? I know you've derided UNH's numbers before.
Well, I mean, yeah, those are bogus numbers. Look, we're
now, how do you just throw? I know you're going to say they're bogus. Well, it's a poll. It's the University of New Hampshire. This is what they say. You don't like the numbers. What?
No, it's not that you don't like the numbers. Is the technique or whatever they're doing is so far off. It's becoming laughable, to tell you the truth. So UNH polls are becoming laughable. Look, we have the support that I know we have around the state of Rhode Island. Whether it is in labor, the nurses are with us because I helped save 2 hospitals. They know the work that I'm doing. We have the teachers on board with us, and by the way, we just have got the eighth best high schools in the country right now. After and certainly I have something to do with the work that's happening in the schools. You got multiple the Teamsters. You've got the nursing homes, who, by the way, my opponent was on a Reinvent Medicaid program that took money across the board away from hospitals as well as nursing homes with the Raimondo administration. She served on that advisory board. I had to fix all that. So they're all with me. Look, there is more than enough people that are going to show up in a primary, by the way, and the primary is going to, more likely or not, going to select the next governor. So I would say anybody that's sitting out there saying, I'll wait till November to determine who's going to be the governor, they should be showing up in the primary. And if we get the votes out, we're going to win. And then if the voters determine that we're going in a different direction, then I'm going to make sure that we have a smooth transition. But right now, we have more than enough to win this election, and it's a real decision to make between somebody who's really working with the people and a corporate executive that clearly has been putting profits ahead of people in her career, and my career is totally different. So there's a real decision to make here, and we'll let the voters decide.
You're down 20 plus in UNH. You're down 15 in Emerson. You cut it by 5 points in the Emerson poll. Governor, you got your own numbers. Why don't you just tell me now? Some people are saying you're within 6 or 7 or 8. What? Give it to me now, because we're going to go with the polls we have, and they're not good for you. What you have other numbers to show me?
All I know is I can tell you right now that we have more than enough people, working people. People know that I've helped the veterans, eliminated the pension, the tax on the pension.
You didn't answer my question. Was give me a number. What do you think you got her by, or she's got you by, and realistically in your mind?
I think that I think it's in the margin of error right now.
Which is
that
that's like 2 or 3 depending on the poll. You're not that close.
You're within the margin of error right now.
Based on what?
Based on the fact that I understand how many people are going to show up in the primary, and how many people that we have with us that will show up in the primary. And there's a long time between now and the 9th, and more and more people hear about my opponent, not being honest, and especially on the opioid issue. You had the evidence yesterday on the radio. Just supported the court case that has been filed. So this is well within reach, and my record is one that has really helped people all around the state of Rhode Island, and we know that if we get our vote out, and that's what I'm encouraging everybody to do, that we will have enough to keep this progress going in the state, and I'm looking forward to being governor the next 4 years.
You're not in the margin of error in UNH. You're not in the margin of error of Emerson. You're saying you're in the margin of error in your own numbers?
We've got enough information to know that we're within the margin of error. Yes.
Within your own numbers that I don't have privy to. Whatever
but
numbers you're thinking about, margin of error 2 or 3, they're your numbers?
There are numbers that we know that we're within we're within the margin of error.
All right, other numbers, money. We had a story on Channel 10. You ran out of money. You're not on television. She's on YouTube every 30 seconds, and she's on television all the time. You have no money. You ran out of money.
No, we'll be up and running very shortly again, and we saved a good pool of money for the last 10 days. That just makes sense. And look, my opponent has got close to $2 million of her own money in this campaign. She's trying to buy this election with money, and the people who are supporting her, you can just look down in Narragansett. All the multi-million-dollar houses have her sign on it. That's who's supporting her. This election is going to be a very simple decision. Do you want somebody that is really with the people, that has worked his whole life in terms of public office, supporting working families, supporting our older adults, or do you want somebody who has been a corporate executive that made, in her last job, made $80,000 a day as she laid off and fired over 2,000 workers? This is a real moment for us, Gene. This is a moment where we either continue to put people to work and help the families in the state and help the young people in their education, or we're going to go to a system right now where a corporate executive does not see the world the same way that someone that grew up in a boys' club and rubbed elbows with every walk of life sees that world, because I have lived in that world. So there's going to be a very good decision to be made right here.
You referenced the $80,000 a day. That's when she ran Hudson's Bay, which is the department store retail giant. When she ran CVS, she says she cut opioid production by 40%. Have you done your research, your homework to say, well, where's the proof of that?
We don't see it. And in fact, in the DOJ's lawsuit, it's very clear that the most progress was made in terms of the reduction in the sale of the opioids happened after she left. While she was there in 2014, they peddled 800,000 pills at a store in East Providence. So this is the time when she said she was right on top of it, really attacking it right away. This is what that lawsuit's about. It's basically going to it's determining that that's not true.
Now, we had an attorney on yesterday, Mark Lanier. He beat CVS in court in Ohio. The verdict was overturned by that state's high court. He says on a technicality he was going to go back in court, try them again, but before he had the second bite at the apple, CVS settled. And he said that he laughed at the notion that she cut opioids by 40%. This is Lanier.
Yeah, that's a laugh to me, candidly, and I don't want to dabble in Rhode Island politics in a sense because I have no right to. I'm not a Rhode Island resident, but I will tell you this. As an outsider who was intimate with the situation, she had zero to do with that reduction. We were going after him. The DOJ was going after him. And this isn't an attack on 7,000 CVS employees. The employees didn't have a clue what was going on, by and large. It was the executive suite. It was the management level. They were the ones who were pushing, trying to get the gold. They were the ones who had the rebate cutback contracts. They were the ones who were deep in this. And with all due respect, I think she had zippo to do with any kind of a reduction.
He handed you that, Governor, yesterday. By the way, you went to do a little research on him. You said his politics lean more conservative.
It's conservative.
He's a Texan.
That's okay.
Yep.
What he said is just validating what I've been referencing in the DOJ U.S. Attorney's lawsuit, which it described that and remember, my opponent was in charge of the pharmacies, and it says right in there that the pharmacists were pressured to fill orders on the pills that was not necessary. So he's just supporting what the DOJ and the U.S. Attorney's report saying. That's what I've been saying. And it's good to have another validator so people, as they make up their mind and who they're going to vote for, and so who do you trust? I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I'm an open book. My record is there, and I'm answering your questions. As one of the callers said, Gene, I'm here with you.
You are.
On monthly basis and taking the tough questions from the public as well as from you. So I'm an open book. I pride myself on making sure that what I say is accurate.
I'd like to have her in to do this, sit down and open the phone lines, but I know the way things work. She's sitting on a lead, Governor. She's not going to come in and screw it up, and you probably wouldn't do it either. If you were 15, 20 points ahead of her.
Well, look,
it's your business. This is how it works.
Well, it does, but at the same point in time, she's being exposed, and I can tell you right now that the walls are closing in very fast on Helena folks.
All right, let's take more calls because it's 8:47. We'll squeeze as many as we can, and then the governor's got to get to work, and so do I. Go.
Leslie, go ahead.
Leslie, go.
Hello, Governor. Thank you for your service.
Thank you for the call.
Can you please explain why you're rejecting the education freedom tax credit for us as Rhode Islanders given to us by the president and signed into law, known as the Educational Choice for Children Act? You have said on the show today that you support families in education, but we as parents have the right to choose where our tax dollars should be spent on our children's education.
Does this allow you to choose where the money would follow the child, Leslie?
Correct. It'd be given as a tax credit in the form of a scholarship back to those of us who choose private schools.
Okay, go ahead, Governor.
So all the rules on that are not clear at this point in time, and the concept is what as stated. Look, I happen to believe I'm really for great public schools, and I think that that's where our money should be flowing. But at the same point in time, if we can create strategies to use those dollars to help us right now in terms of the Learn 365, which is a learning strategy for all our kids, regardless of where they go to school. We got 21 municipal learning centers that are opening right now. I intend to make sure that I'm working on all the out-of-school strategies to help our young people in school, whether they're in a district school, a charter school, a Merrill Academy, a private school, a parochial school, a homeschool.
Could you narrowly give him an answer? He said you rejected the government tax credit that allows him to get the tax credit by choosing. Why did you do that?
Well, first of all, we haven't rejected it. We don't have the guidelines, like Gene, in terms of what we can use it for. What I want to use it for is all out-of-school type of learning, tutoring across the board to all our students, all our young people live in the state, regardless of what school they go to, whether it's public or private.
Next caller for the governor.
Heidi, go ahead.
Heidi, go. Heidi once. Heidi must be
Twice.
helping. Heidi, go ahead. We thought you were helping your grandfather on the mountain. Go ahead, Heidi.
I'm sorry. 4 years they have been trying to get legislation passed for acknowledging the Seekonk Wampanoags as a state-recognized tribe. They don't want housing, they don't want money, they don't want anything but recognition so they can apply for grants to help them in their quality of living. And I don't understand why you're against it.
I'm unfamiliar with this. The Seekonk Wampanoags?
We are in discussions with the tribes on a regular basis, and we want to make sure that we are protecting the state as much as protecting the tribes. We haven't got there yet, but the conversations are continuing.
Okay, no, I'm a little ignorant of this particular issue. The Seekonk is Massachusetts. The Seekonk Wampanoags, they covered Rhode Island and Massachusetts. What is the issue here?
The issue
Why
is
is
that
it a Rhode Island issue?
They want to get designated so that, as the caller said, they feel as though they could qualify for bringing in job training dollars and those type of things. We're just trying to make sure that we get the balance, Gene, so that we're not creating a problem for the for the taxpayers in the state of Rhode Island, but at the same time respecting the the opportunity that is being presented to us. But we have not really come to a place where we can actually say, yeah, let's pull it, let's
so you're aware of it, and that particular tribe has Rhode Island ancestral lands in Rhode Island ties.
We meet regularly.
Okay. The next caller for the governor, if you got one.
Last one. Alex, go ahead, quick.
Alex, go. You're on with the governor. Alex, you there? No. Next one, Tom, pull in one more. You got one more? No. You good? That's it. He's got to run. We got to run commercials. Governor, stay with us. I got a couple of minutes. We'll squeeze some time.
Okay.
It's 8:50.
Just finish with them now. You got 2 minutes. I'll give you 2 minutes.
All right. Governor, where are you going later today? What are you doing?
I haven't really looked at the schedule that much, but I know that we're going to be out with different projects. This week we've been at opening learning centers, municipal learning centers. We're with the with the public and a regular basis. I'd have to look at my schedule right now. I think I'm on I think I'm on channel 10 tonight.
I'll see you there.
I think I'm there. I'm going to end the day there, and then I'm going to go home. And I understand that Susan and I are taking care of the grandkids this evening, so we're looking forward to that.
Decompress. Truck tolls. You're moving ahead with truck tolls, correct?
Yes.
Providence got their schools back.
They have, and
you gave it back to the teachers union. Some might say that was another election maneuver. Here, take it off my plate.
No, it was time. It was time to do it. A lot of progress has been made. The commissioner has done a great job. New buildings, attendance. By the way, attendance at Providence schools, because of the Attendance Matters program that we put together, have the least amount of chronic absenteeism in history. That is a big move in terms of making sure that the kids are in school.
Yep.
And remember, when I showed up, it was like 57% chronic absenteeism. Now it's in the mid-20s. That's going to continue going on down. And as we get more and more kids in school, we'll have more and more results that we're looking for a state.
Flock cameras. The tide is turning against flock cameras. Mayor Hopkins likes them in Cranston. Mayor Smiley likes them in Providence. And Mayor Mitchell likes them in New Bedford. Boy, that's left, center, right. That's odd bedfellows, isn't it, Governor? You like flock cameras?
Well, that's why we put a pause on them, because I think that the public really wanted to make sure that we balanced the personal identity rights as well against the safety rights that a community has. We're doing that right now, and we have our state police leading the charge. We'll come back with a report, and if there's some legislation that we want to put in the next session that can kind of make that balance that everybody's looking for, we'll find that place.
Here's the news I got out of you today. You're signaling to me you have your own numbers, and you insist you're within the margin of error of Helena folks, which is generally 2 to 3 points depending on the poll. With regard to the Superman building, I told you that the facade is falling off. Kenny says it's falling off, can't be saved, has to be knocked down. You seem willing to see what the other side says, and you say the money's not going to be the check won't be cashed until they can prove that it's safe and they get a certificate of occupancy. You have had conversations with Bally's with regard to the financial health of that casino operator. They assure you at least the Rhode Island operation is safe, correct?
Yes.
And it sounds to me like you're telling Representative Julie Casimiro, who lives in South Carolina now, to step down and leave us all together.
Well, she's made the move. She's left the state, and we wish her the best.
I wish you the best. I wish all candidates the best. And the opportunity is still open. Helena folks, come in here, do the same thing. Sit down and they'll take the calls. As Alorza says, you got to serve the people. He told you that, right? It's 8:53.
He did.